There is a move so psychologically powerful that women have described it as almost unfair. Not a pickup line, not a text, not even a conversation, just a specific pattern of behavior that quietly hijacks a woman's attention and makes her think about you when you are nowhere near her. And the crazy part is that most men are doing the exact opposite of this every single day, and they do not even know it. By the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why chasing a woman through your phone is one of the most destructive things you can do for attraction, and more importantly, what you should be doing instead. Stay with me, because the second half of this video is where it gets really interesting. Let us start with something that almost nobody talks about honestly. The reason most men default to texting is not because it works. It is because it feels like it works. Every time you send a message and she replies, your brain gets a small hit of dopamine. It feels like progress. It feels like connection. But here is the trap. You are not building attraction in those moments. You are just managing your own anxiety. You are texting her because not texting her feels unbearable. And she can feel that energy even through a screen. Women are extraordinarily perceptive when it comes to desperation. They have had to be, and the moment your texting pattern communicates that you need her attention to feel okay, something shifts in how she sees you. The tension that is supposed to pull her toward you quietly disappears. Now think about this from a psychological angle. Attraction is not comfort. Attraction is actually a kind of productive discomfort. It is that slightly restless feeling of wondering, of not being entirely sure, of wanting to know more. When you are texting a woman constantly, you are eliminating that discomfort entirely. You are giving her brain no reason to generate any curiosity about you because you are already answering every question before she even has time to ask it. You become fully known, fully available, fully predictable. And predictability, as far as the attraction brain is concerned, is closer to furniture than it is to desire. There is a principle in behavioral psychology called intermittent reinforcement. It was originally studied in the context of gambling and addiction, but it applies directly to human relationships. The basic idea is this. When a reward is delivered unpredictably, the pursuit of that reward becomes significantly more intense than when the reward is delivered constantly. This is why slot machines are more addictive than vending machines. The vending machine gives you what you want every single time. The slot machine makes you wait, makes you uncertain, and that uncertainty is what keeps you pulling the lever. Now apply that to attraction. When you are always available, always responsive, always right there, you are a vending machine. When you have a life, when you are genuinely busy, when your attention is not guaranteed, you become something far more compelling. This is not about playing games. Let me be very clear about that. What we are talking about is the difference between performing scarcity and actually having a full life. The men who are most attractive to women are not the ones running some calculated ignore her strategy from a Reddit thread. They are the men who are genuinely absorbed in their own goals, their own friendships, their own growth. Their attention is valuable not because they are withholding it artificially, but because there are real things competing for it. That is the mindset shift this entire video is built around. So let us get into the specific behaviors. The first one is what I call the strong exit. Most men do not know how to end an interaction at its peak. Whether it is a conversation in person, a phone call, or even a short text exchange, they ride it all the way down until one of them runs out of things to say. They wait until the energy drops before they leave. This is a critical mistake. The brain tends to remember the end of an experience more vividly than the middle. This is called the peak-end rule in psychology. If the last moment of your conversation is a slow, awkward fade-out, that is what she is left sitting with. But if you exit at the high point, when she's engaged, when she is laughing, when the conversation is alive, her brain does not get the closure it is looking for, and the mind will keep returning to unfinished experiences. She will be thinking about you not because you disappeared, but because the story did not finish. You gave her the beginning and the middle, and then you walked away before the ending. That is not rude, that is magnetic. The second behavior is being genuinely unreachable sometimes, not fake unreachable, where you are staring at your phone waiting to reply, but making yourself wait 30 minutes. Genuinely unreachable. You are at the gym. You are with your friends. You are working on something that matters to you. You are living. When you respond later and she asks what you were doing, you have an honest, full answer. There is a version of you that exists entirely outside of her, and that version is interesting. That version has momentum. Nothing creates more mental real estate in a woman's mind than a man who clearly does not need her validation to have a good day. It does not make her feel rejected. It makes her feel like she is trying to earn access to something worth having. The third behavior is the art of the unresolved thread. In conversation, whether in person or over any channel, human beings naturally seek resolution. We want the loop to close. We want to know how the story ends, what you meant by that, what happens next. When you leave certain things slightly open, slightly unfinished, her mind will keep working on it. This is not about being cryptic for the sake of it. It is about understanding that mystery is not created by hiding who you are. It is created by revealing who you are in a way that makes her want to know more. Share something genuinely interesting about your life, your perspective, your work, and then move on before you have exhausted it. Leave the thread hanging just a little. Her curiosity will do the rest. The fourth behavior is what happens when you are actually with her. This is the one most men overlook entirely because they think the challenge is in the distance, in the gap between interactions. But the quality of your presence when you are with her is what determines how vivid you are in her mind when you are not. If you are distracted, half listening, checking your phone, mentally somewhere else, you are leaving her with a blurry impression of you. But when you are fully present, when you listen with genuine interest, when you notice details, when you make her feel like she is the only thing in the room that matters in that moment, you are burning yourself into her memory with intensity. Full presence is rare. Most people walk through their entire lives half present. When someone gives you their complete, undivided attention, it is striking. It is almost disorienting, and she will think about it later, sometimes for days. The fifth behavior is having something she wants to be part of. This does not have to be grand. It does not have to be a startup or a record deal or a famous social media presence. It just has to be real. A project you are building, a goal you are working toward, a community you are involved in, a skill you are developing. When a man has something compelling going on in his life, women want to be near it. Not because they are impressed by status necessarily, but because energy is contagious. Ambition, focus, and passion are attractive at a biological level because they signal capacity. They signal that this person is going somewhere, and there is a part of every person that wants to attach themselves to someone who is in motion. When you have this, you do not have to chase her attention. Your life becomes a gravitational field. The sixth behavior is the calibrated compliment. Most men either compliment too much, which cheapens the value of every compliment they give, or they withhold compliments entirely in some misguided attempt to seem detached. Neither extreme works. What works is the specific, earned, unexpected compliment. Not "you are beautiful," which she has heard 1,000 times, and which tells her nothing about whether you actually see her, but something precise, something that shows you were paying attention. Something about the way she thinks, the way she handled a specific situation, the way she laughed at something that other people would not have found funny. When a compliment is that specific, it lands differently. It stays with her. She will replay it later because it felt like being genuinely seen, not just appreciated for her surface. The seventh behavior is letting her come to you sometimes. This is perhaps the most counterintuitive one for men who have been told their whole lives that they need to be the initiators, the chasers, the ones who make things happen. And while initiative is absolutely important, particularly early on, there is a specific kind of attraction that only builds when you occasionally create a space for her to step into. If you are always the one reaching out first, always the one making plans, always the one keeping the connection alive, she never gets to experience the feeling of wanting to reach out to you. She never gets to feel the pull. You have to give that feeling room to develop. Stop filling every silence. Let some space exist. Let her wonder. And when she reaches out first, when she makes the plan, when she closes that space, something in the dynamic shifts. She has now taken an action toward you, and we are wired to believe we want the things we take action toward. Now let us talk about something deeper, because everything we have covered so far is behavioral. But there is a psychological layer underneath all of this that matters even more. The reason these behaviors work is not manipulation. It is alignment. They work because they are expressions of a man who has genuine self-respect, genuine direction, and a genuine sense of his own value. And here is the truth that men who struggle with this the most need to hear. If you are relying on constant texting and constant contact to keep a woman interested, you are not really confident in whether she likes you. You are trying to manufacture connection because you do not trust that it is already there, and that lack of trust communicates itself. Women do not fall for men who are unsure of their own worth. They fall for men who hold a quiet, unshakable sense that they are worth choosing. That energy cannot be faked for long, but it can be built. And everything we have talked about in this video is a step toward building it. Here is something worth sitting with. The men who are best at this are not thinking about how to make her think about them. They are thinking about the next thing they want to build, the next trip they want to take, the next level they want to reach. The thinking about them part is a byproduct. It happens naturally, without effort, because their life is genuinely absorbing. So the real question is not what text should I send to make her miss me. The real question is, what am I building right now that I am actually excited about? What am I doing with my time that I would be proud to describe? Because when your life is full, when you are genuinely in motion, the dynamic with women shifts without you having to engineer it. You stop being someone who needs her attention. You become someone whose attention is worth wanting. There is also a dimension here around emotional regulation that rarely gets discussed in these conversations. Most men text compulsively not because they have a strategy, but because they are uncomfortable sitting with uncertainty. She has not replied, and something in your chest tightens. The urge to send a follow-up message is not really about her. It is about making that feeling stop. And the problem is that every time you give in to that urge, you train yourself to require her response to feel okay. You outsource your emotional stability to someone else's behavior. This is one of the most unattractive things a man can do, not because women are cold or judgmental, but because a man who can regulate his own emotions, who can sit with uncertainty without needing to immediately resolve it, is genuinely rare. And that capacity, that quiet steadiness, is one of the most deeply attractive qualities a man can develop. Not for her, for himself. The attraction is just a consequence. Let us also address something practical. There are men watching this who are in the early stages of something with a woman and feeling the pressure to keep momentum alive through constant contact. Here is what actually keeps momentum alive. Doing interesting things. Having a genuinely good time when you are with her. Creating moments that are worth remembering. Having enough going on in your life that time apart passes quickly for you. None of those things require a phone. All of them require a life. And when you are living a full, purposeful life, the gap between interactions does not feel like a threat to the connection. It feels like context for it. You are bringing more to the table each time because you are out doing something real. And for the men who have already fallen into the over-texting pattern with someone and are wondering if it is too late to reset, here is the answer. You can almost always reset. Not by suddenly going cold or disappearing dramatically, which will just feel confusing and juvenile, but by gradually letting your life expand to fill the space that was previously dominated by your phone. Start a project. Get back in the gym. Reconnect with your friends. Pursue the goal you have been putting off. As your life fills up, your availability naturally contracts, and that contraction does not feel like withdrawal. It feels like growth, and growth is attractive. She will notice the difference not because you changed your texting strategy, but because you changed your energy. The person showing up in those conversations will be different, and she will feel it. One final thing. Everything in this video depends on one condition. The woman has to actually have some baseline interest in you to begin with. None of these principles manufacture attraction out of nothing. What they do is protect and amplify attraction that already exists. If a woman is genuinely indifferent to you, mystery and presence and a full life will not override that. But for the vast majority of interactions, in the early stages of dating, in the middle of a relationship that has lost its spark, in any dynamic where the connection exists but the tension has gone flat, these principles are what bring it back to life. They work because they are true, because they are grounded in how human psychology actually operates, how desire actually functions, and what genuine confidence actually looks like from the outside. If this video gave you something real to think about, do me a favor and subscribe. There is a lot more coming on attraction psychology, masculine mindset, and the inner work that actually changes outcomes with women. Hit the subscribe button so you do not miss it, and drop a comment below telling me which of these behaviors you are going to start with. I read them all.